now to your regularly scheduled program.
When your camera is made by Kodak, you know it's good.
Tonight, I'd like to show you one of the world's great cameras.
Tonight, I'd like to show you a new idea in picture taking.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up.
I see the picture in my mind's eye, and I give it to you as the equivalent of what I saw and felt.
We choose to go to the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We will never forget that we are analog human beings.
My job is to be authentic.
We all love stories. We're born for them.
Coming to you live from Stratobox Studios in Manila, Philippines.
Hi guys, welcome back to Film Factor Podcast. Tonight we are back with Born in Film on air with fellow photographers Michael McKenny with his wife Dorothy from Albuquerque, New Mexico in the US, Richard Gatmaitan from Quezon City in the Philippines, and Jay-Rness Ceria from Quezon Province also in the Philippines. And of course, after that, we'll have a new episode of Masterclass Visual Storytelling and Creative Composition by yours truly. But before we begin, we'd like to thank each of you for being a huge part of this passionate community. We now have 7,287 members across 81 countries and slowly climbing to 8,000. We are now on our way to our next goal, which is 10,000 members worldwide. If you have friends or anyone who would be interested in joining, don't hesitate to invite them over. Everyone is welcome. It is unfortunate that we won't be having any events soon because of the pandemic. We hope that all of you are doing well and safe. It would be advisable to stay at home and go out only if and when it's necessary. Wash your hands, wear your face masks, face shields, and keep distance from the person near you. Sanitize your deliveries and clean your homes. The key to fighting this pandemic is surviving. And by being hygienic, stay healthy, and for those who are sick, fight your way through because we have lots of things planned for the rest of the year. To our frontliners, we thank you and pray that all of you are safe. We hope that through this program, we keep you entertained and well informed. Please do share this livecast so that we get the word out. This isn't only for us, but for you and the many people who are riding out this pandemic. Not too long ago, began a series of online discussions within Photo Nation. The very first one we aired on April 5, where we talked about the importance of printing with Alvin Lee. From there, we met photographers like Australian marine life photographer Darren Ju from the Tales by Light series on Netflix, and Nicola Kostic, a passionate photographer from Belgrade, Serbia. We jumped from landscape photography with Fitz Bore to the life of expat photographers with Arnold Apostol in Singapore. We talked about women and the things they go through as photographers with Alex Ongkal, a Filipino photojournalist, and Inbal Christine, a concept photographer from Israel. We were also joined by Tran Hong Myung, a Vietnamese nude photographer. Last week, we had our photographers of the week. Our ever passionate friend Kat Villarreal, who's into film photography, Jay-Rness Ceria, who's into portraits, and Rick Versosa, who's into concept fine art photography. Throughout this short span, we were able to reach members from different parts of the world, and we will keep on going. Tonight, we are back with Born in Film on Air, a segment within Film Factor Podcast where we explore the life of photographers and understand their passion and as we dive into the details. Let's check this out.
always been what's interesting to me.
I'm happy to greet this gathering of motion picture engineers.
Simulcast on IGTV, and if you're on Facebook, don't forget to follow the page, join Photo Nation, and share this live podcast. Joining us tonight is a couple, Tandem, who are into fine art, abstract photography based in Albuquerque in New Mexico in the US. Mike McKenny and his wife Dorothy, together with featured photographers Richard Gatmaitan, a passionate fine art portrait photographer who has won second place at the Wedding and Portrait Photographers of the Philippines in 2018. And last but definitely not the least, Jay-Rness Ceria, or more commonly known as Nanes, a passionate landscape photographer who's into landscape and composites, who was just recently featured in the Times UK newspaper and full feature in the Manila Bulletin. He is based in Quezon Province in the Philippines. Good evening, everyone. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi. Michael,
Hi.
I think you're just muted. You need to click on the unmute button, Michael. Michael, I think you're muted. There.
Hello.
Hold on. There. We're good. How's everyone doing? Hi, Michael. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Nanes and Richard.
Really
Hi,
good.
everyone.
Yes.
So maybe we can begin with Dorothy and Mike. Hold on. Let me just cue you in the there. Hi, Dorothy and Mike. How are you? There.
Hello.
There's a bit of a lag. Sorry, I needed to fix that. Again, let's begin with the both of you. We love your couple tandem, and Michael, who does the artworks, and Dorothy, who does the promotion. We love your story. And I believe Dorothy used to be a news reporter who became a detective, right, Dorothy? And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, you used to be an electronics teacher, right?
I was.
And then both of you became or joined the police, and that's where you met Dorothy.
That is correct.
Right.
And I know that Dorothy, who also does photography, but it's Mike who's more into it. Can you tell us when did you start this, and can you maybe walk us through your story?
Okay, I've been doing photography most of my life, and I've done landscape, infrared, high speed, and with everything staying indoors more so lately, I've focused more on the high speed and started with water drops.
Wow.
Let me put in a statement here. Mike takes every kind of picture except people. He does not photograph people.
Great. And then within the family, is it only Mike and Dorothy? How about your kids? Are they into photos as well, or photography as well?
No, the children have grown and are up their own family. They're not in photography.
They're not into photography.
No, they're not.
Hold on. I believe I have some of your pictures here. Let's try to show our audience. There. So hold on. I believe it's just loading. There. So that's Mike and Dorothy, and I believe this is your family, right?
That's our family
right, that's our family in Albuquerque.
In Albuquerque. Wow, you have C-3PO and R2-D2 behind. With you.
Yes.
And then
This big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And that's four of our 6 grandchildren.
Wow. And these are your grandchildren.
Part of.
And then And then, so was it, it's just the both of you, right? Who are into photography?
That's correct, yes.
And then, since we're into photography, Dorothy, you're a very supportive wife. How important is it to have support in the family to pursue art and passion? Not just for your husband, but your kids also, who are I believe, are they into artworks as well?
Oh, no. Actually, our children aren't. Mike's sister and her daughter are artists, and they are just unbelievably good. I mean, I think creativity runs in their family, not so much in mine. But no, our children, they don't do any sort of art at all, unfortunately.
And then you've also been doing the posters, right? You have been doing the posters. Maybe you can walk us through the posters. I believe I have some of the samples for it. Hold on, let me show it to the screen.
Actually, my latest effort at promoting his work is to create the posters with little sayings or quotes or things that I just make up off the top of my head on. I think his water drop art just really cries out for words to go with them sometimes. And so that's what I do. I've done a lot of different things with his art. We started off with T-shirts and face masks, and I've moved. This is one of the face masks that we have. So
I think it's just loading. Hold on. Let's try to show that again. Hold on. I believe there. Maybe you can show it on the screen. There.
Yeah, I took. In this case, I took one of his landscapes and made it into a face mask. Of course, I've made almost all of his art into face masks because this was a thing that was going right now.
Yeah.
But we made T-shirts. There are lots of different ways to promote your art. And I try to take care of all that because I don't let him out of his room very much. I mean, keep producing art while I do all this petty
promotions. Yeah. And Mike, how do you feel that your wife is very supportive to your artwork?
Well, it definitely helps and it frees me up to just simply take pictures.
Yeah. Wow. That's really great. And then, Mike, we saw your setup, and it's very intricate. Can you talk us through how it was built? I think we have photos of that. Hold on, let me just show it on the screen so that the audience would have an idea. Hold on. There. So that's your setup. Maybe you can walk us through how it works.
Yeah, basically, I just built a wooden frame that holds the valves and solenoids. And what you see on top with the different colors, that's usually milk or a milk-water combination that's got food dye in it. And then you see them running down to the solenoids, and this is all controlled by computer. You can set the time, how long the drop is, the intervals. So basically, you're just setting it up to have drop hit that pan down below the water. A column will rise up, and then other drops will hit it, and that's where you get the shapes.
Wow. And again, we know that no two photos will be alike, right?
That's right. It's a lot like snowflakes. Even if you think you've got the same setup and everything is identical, there's still going to be small factors that come in. So really, no two drop collisions are the same.
And
they all look just...
It sure feels very exciting. It's also up to everyone's interpretation. And how does it make you feel when you find that perfect image?
But obviously, you get some images that are more mundane, but every now and then you get images that are really exciting, and that's always a great feeling.
Great. And how does your workflow go in terms of inspiration? How do you find them? Is it hard to find one?
Not really. Of course, if in photography, lighting is the most important element. So you decide what colors you want to drop. You decide on the setup and timing, and you can basically influence some of the shapes that come out. But what makes or breaks the picture a lot of times is the lighting. And, you can start water drop photography with no investment really other than your camera and electronic flash. But the lighting, if you get the flash off the camera where you can place it to the side or behind, say, a frosted glass or something to soften the light, that's what really makes or breaks the pictures.
Great. And in terms of equipment, what do you use?
I use the electronics that control the drops is made by a company called Cognisis. There's a lot of different companies out there that sell water drop equipment.
Oh.
But like I say, you can start with nothing other than a plastic bag, poke a hole in it where you get a whole, say, 5 to 10 drops per second coming out into a pan of water. And you could even have your flash on camera and just simply take the picture and try to time it. You'll have a lot of misses that way, but some of the best drops I've seen have been created that way. So it doesn't really take any money to get started, other than your basic and flash investment.
That's very interesting, and again, it also helps that you have a background in electronics, right? And thank you for sharing that with us. In terms of Mike, how do you feel, and Dorothy? How do you both feel to be part of this passionate community in Photo Nation?
Well, I actually love it. I'm on there more than he is because, I'm always looking for, different pictures and different styles and things to share with him. But I really like the energy on your site. I like the fact that the people are not competitive. They're willing to tell you your art is great, even knowing that theirs might be better. So, I like that. A lot of times photographers are competitive and they won't acknowledge someone's good work because they feel like it takes away from theirs. But I like your site and I enjoy being on it and I appreciate it. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Dorothy and Michael. And again, like I told you, we'll try to connect you with other photographers also within near your state in Albuquerque, and maybe you guys can meet up and probably create an exhibit, right? That's going to be very exciting, also for us because we're really looking forward to to more of your works. And speaking of exhibits. What are your plans, the both of you? What are your plans? Are you planning what are your future plans? Are you planning for an exhibit? Maybe you can discuss that with us.
Well, I think COVID has taken, control over, being involved in any exhibits right now. But I think we're just waiting on that veil to lift. And let us make our plans from there. But certainly we would love to do an exhibit. I would love to promote an exhibit. So we're just like the rest of the world waiting on that vaccine. So,
and also to me, a large part of photography is sharing. It's basically taking what you see and sharing with others. And in that spirit, I learned so much about drop photography from reading other photographers that are doing it. So I'm writing a book right now to make available everything that I learned and share with others.
Wow, that's really great.
And one thing I wanted to say is, if anybody wants to know anything about promotion, they can send me a friend request on Facebook. I'm always willing to share I've contacted exhibits, art galleries, from any way I can promote. So I've already gone through a lot of the legwork that others might not want to go through. And if you want to ask about photography itself, Mike is always very happy to answer any questions. And so send him a friend request. You can see his work and ask him questions too, because we're both very willing to share. We're getting older now. We're going to pass that knowledge down.
Yeah, and speaking of passing it on, maybe we can probably create a workshop online, since everyone's stuck at home, and maybe both of you would want to conduct a workshop. We'll help you set it up so that we can probably make that happen. There. And speaking of works by Mike, let's try to check out some of the works that Mike has done. Hold on. Because we really have lots of, Mike, you have lots of fans within the group. We have actually a comment here from Fitzbore, who was one of our previous guests. He says, "Hi, Michael. I am a big fan of your work. Please continue and keep sharing." Wow. There.
That's great.
I praise.
Okay, so Mike, maybe you can talk us through some of the photos that we have here. Maybe you can talk about what you find interesting with the photos here that we have on the screen.
One of the things that I really love about the drop photography is they create a lot of different shapes and patterns. And one person may look at it and see, as I look at this and see, like the title, Goddess on a Mountaintop, I can see a woman standing on top of the peak there. But other people see different things. It's open to each person's imagination as to what they see in it.
Great.
On the technical side, a lot of these drops, if you use pure water, they break apart and they don't hold together as long. Using something that has a little more thickness, like milk, you get shapes like this easier.
Great. And then let's move on to the next. Hold on there. Wow.
Yeah, that's been a really popular one.
Yeah.
The bow.
It
looks like a lady bowing to us. Some people see something else, someone with a water drop, a water pail or something, but it just makes everybody think of something different.
And a lot of times, if you look online, some of the water drop photography you'll see, a lot of people are into symmetry, and you'll find very intricate shapes. To achieve these, they really have their valves, their equipment lined up so the drops hit precisely on top of each other. I tend to be attracted more toward the unsymmetrical.
Yeah.
So often I will misalign my valves just a little bit so that I can come up with shapes like these. They're more chaotic, but they give the biggest opportunity for every person to look and see something different.
We have a comment here, Kat Villarreal, who was our guest last week. She says, "I see a woman playing the violin." Really nice.
That's good.
That is very good. That's one of the things I love about this, is that everybody can look and see, and to each person it really looks just like this. Whereas someone else I have people all the time tell me, "Oh, well, I see this," and I had never imagined that until they mention it, and then I'll re-look at it and I can see it.
Okay, let's move on to the next. This one.
Oh, I love that one.
It looks like Pink. It looks like Pink Panther. Wow, Wow, really good. Okay, let's move on to the other ones. There. Wow.
Oh, the mermaid.
Yeah, that's one that the moment my wife saw it, she said, "Well, that's a mermaid coming up from the ocean."
Yeah, I kind of see that. Wow.
That's green milk dropping into orange juice.
And the green is not out of date. It was just food coloring.
And it depends on the, for example, you mix milk with juice or different types of liquid, right? So in terms of consistency, yeah.
I come from the film days, and when you developed your film, there's a product at the end that when you hung your film up to dry, it was photo flow, and it reduced the tension of the water, so your film would dry quicker without spots.
Yeah,
I've got some of that ordered, and I'm anxious to try putting that into my drop liquids. It should be interesting.
Yeah, we're excited to see that. Okay,
we had a newspaper article.
Wow.
I'll hold it up so you can see it. But this pretty well sums up his work. It is controlled chaos.
That's amazing.
I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, they did a great spread on his work. But that summed it up pretty well. Controlled chaos.
Have you posted this on Facebook? Maybe the page, the Born in Film page, can share that so that many more people can see it. Right?
Okay.
Let me know when you post it so that we can share it. So that
I
more
will.
people.
I will.
Thank you. And again, would like to thank Dorothy and Michael for sharing with us about this exciting type of abstract photography. Again, Dorothy and Michael, please stay with us. We'll talk more after the other guests.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. Okay. And hold on. And moving on to our second guest. Our next guest is a passionate fine art portrait photographer. We have with us Richard Gatmaitan from Quezon City in the Philippines. Hi, Richard. I think you just need to unmute. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ayan, okay na.
Yes. We hear you. There. Hold on. Let me just hold on. Let's just try to edit this a bit so that we can see you fully. There. Wow, you have a nice background. Is that the one of the places in Lord of
City
the
of
Rings?
Kings.
Yes.
Gondor.
Gondor.
That's Gondor.
Wow. Okay, so Richard, how are you doing now that may lockdown ngayon? And do you have any projects currently that you're working on?
Bukod sa pag-gain ng weight. So may mga online workshop tayo ganyan. May mga shoots pa rin.
Yeah.
Mga home service. Yeah.
Great. And speaking of portrait photography, what attracted you to portrait photography?
Before kasi nung nagsimula ako, parang na-try ko rin lahat eh. Parang nagsidabukan ko mag-landscape, mag-conceptual. And then, nung parang nalilink ako sa portrait, parang may something na parang, let's say, if you take a picture of, say, bata, parang gano'n. Parang ang daming meaning, ang daing mystery doon sa portrait ko. Kagaya ng mga pinopost ko, which is iba-ibang story ang nakikita rin nila. So, para ma-interpret yung picture ko. So, I think, yun yung pinaka, yung pinaka gusto ko sa portrait, yung feeling na nasusurprise ka kung ano yung mga, gustong iparating ng picture.
Wow. That's
sa
really,
audience.
That's really good. And we have actually some comments from those who are watching. Kat Villarreal again, who's one of our who was our guest last week, says fan ng
Inasterate.
yeah. She says she's also a fan of Lord of the Rings. Yes. And then Minas Tirith, City of Kings.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
City of Kings.
There, hold on. So, Richard, your style is very distinct and we love it. What inspired you to do this painting-like portraits? I believe we have some of your works with us here. Hold on, let me just pull those up. There. Hold on. Here. Let's just wait for it to load. There, Richard. Maybe you can discuss what inspired you to do this type of photography.
Yeah. Well, siyempre, nakikita niyo na sa background ko, sa medieval era. So parang from ordinary portraits, parang nagkaroon ako ng interest sa Renaissance time. Yung sinaunang panahon, mga concept. Ayan. So, ano kasi, parang kakaiba, hindi siya ordinaryong portrait lang na kinuhanan mo sa isang background o sa isang place, something like that. Saka parang ano bang tawag dito? In terms of sa mga props din, yung mga ganun. Saka yung pananamit din nila. Doon ako parang sobrang interested sa mga style ng damit nila. Ayan, like
wow.
Ayan.
And most of your models, like you told me earlier, are Russian and Caucasian.
Some Russian, Ukrainian, Belarusian.
How do you connect with them?
One time, the first model is Ukrainian. Na-shoot namin siya, and then after that, nagustuhan niya yung mga outputs. Tapos may mga friends siya na ni-refer na sa amin. So after nun, nag-connect siya bigla. Parang nagdire-direction lang siya na parang para network. So,
wow, that's really great.
So, siyempre, portfolio is important din. Doon din, minsan, madalas kasi doon din sila nakatingin.
So really, if you want to pursue this, you really need to create a good portfolio. Right.
Yeah, so yun din na napansin ko kasi medyo specific sila sa mga concepts.
Yeah, concepts and outputs. Yeah. There. So this one's really good. Oh, ganda. How about the costumes? How about the outfits? Is it them who prepares it?
Ako din. Actually, from lahat naman, siguro karamihan man ng photographer ngayon alam naman nila yung tambayan, yung Pinterest. Okay. Wow. And then from Pinterest, syempre makakita ka ng mga concept doon. Tapos babaguhin mo na lang. Let's say gusto mong na-inspire ka doon sa isang portrait nung nakita mo sa pin, and then gusto mong i-recreate pero in a different way, different approach. So yun. So sa damit, kami din na nagpo-provide. Damit, anything. Basta si model pupunta na lang doon.
Like this one. So good. It's really good.
This one, this is collaboration with Fanny Serrano, the designer. Actually, sa kanya yung damit. Sa kanya sa kanya ko din nakuha yung title na Renaissance kasi nung first collab namin na open shoot na yan. So, ang title yan is Renaissance Open Shoot. So, si Fanny Serrano din kasi is more on mga gusto niya yung mga Renaissance look. And then, nung nakita ko yung mga concept, parang, oo nga, sobrang kakaiba. Sobrang ganda.
Yeah.
Parang hindi siya ordinary.
Yeah. And in terms of, Richard, in terms of equipment, what do you use?
Mostly I use Canon. Canon 5D Mark III or M5. Paiba-iba depende sa Pero isa lang ang gamit kong lens, yung 85mm ng Canon din.
85mm. And what do you love about the system? Is it the colors or I remember you told me earlier that it doesn't in terms of settings, right?
Number one is yung color science nga ng Canon, especially pag outdoor. Gustong-gusto ko siya lalo na pag nag-shoot ako ng, let's say, golden hour, magical hour time. Nakukuha niya yung gusto kong kulay with minor editing, syempre. Syempre with the help na din ng ibang settings mo bukod sa color science ng camera. Kasi kung di mo naman kabisado yung settings at yung camera alone lang ang gagawa, hindi pa rin mag-work yung gusto mo mangyari.
Yeah. And in terms of setting it up, how much effort should photographers put into planning? Kailangan ba extensive planning? And in terms of lighting setups, sige, yun muna. Go.
Bali, ang pinakamatagal na, for the record, yung pinakamatagal namin na preparation sa shoot, umabot siya ng 2 weeks. 3 weeks pala, sorry. 3 weeks. So una, sa outfit muna, siyempre sa outfit ko, contact ka ng designer na kayang gawin yung certain na outfit na gusto mong mangyari sa shoot.
Yeah.
And then, makeup artist. And then team. Meron kaming team, siya yung limitless team, which is 7 members. Yeah. Tapos kami nagtulong-tulong para mag-conceptualize. And then, after ma-complete namin, yung prop, yung damit, yung damit, yung makeup artist, and then location, and then tapos yung model, siyempre namimili din kami ng model na babagay doon sa damit para sa prepare kami. And then yung panahon, right place at the right time.
Yeah. Especially
kasi,
now.
Kasi for example, mag-outdoor kami, ganito yung oras na gusto ko na shoot. So, let's say nakaset kayo sa, let's say mag-shoot kayo next week. Let's say August 15. Tapos umulan. So, medyo sira ang plano. So, i-extend nyo lang siya. So, hindi namin pinupush yung date kasi yung mindset namin nando sa, kumbaga iba yung mindset mo sa shoot. So, doon nagtatagal. So, na-extend siya ulit.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it also depends on the weather and at the same time the season, especially now that it's rainy season here in the Philippines. Especially.
Saka I'm using an Android app. Ano pangalan niya? Golden Hour yung pangalan ng app. So namo-monitor namin din yung paggalaw nung araw kung ilan minuto yung Golden Hour dito sa Pilipinas. So yun. So yun yung time of shoot namin.
Wow.
Pag outdoor.
Yeah, for those who are watching, maybe you can download that for Android.
Golden Hour app ang pangalan niya. Golden Hour application.
Great. Thanks.
So turn on nyo lang yung location, then makikita nyo kung ilan minuto yung Golden Hour dito.
Wow. Thanks, Richard, for sharing that. And in terms of lighting setups, are you more or do you have a template, or should it be case to case depending on the model? Are you more into ambient lighting or into controlled setups in a studio? What do you prefer?
I have two settings kasi. Pag outdoor, more on ambient light lang ako. Nasa shade lang yung model. And then kapag walang araw, overcast daylight, mas maganda. Yung parang shade lang siya at yung maulap ba. And then sa indoor, most of my shoot is one light. And then with the help of reflector na lang, if ever na nakukulangan ako sa kabilang side or some part ng model na medyo gusto kong maliwanag ng context. Most of my shoot is one light.
Great.
Add ko lang doon sa isang model na pinakita nyo kanina, yung time of preparation nun is 2 days.
Which one? Which one doon?
Yung nakaputi na.
Hold on, let me para the viewers can see it. Hold on.
Brown background niya.
Here this one.
Yan.
Hold on. There, this
really,
one.
that is my favorite portrait yun. Short story sa portrait na to. Ito kasi yung tinry ko i-recreate, hindi na nangyari. So, So yun yung sinasabi nila na pag nakagawa ka talaga ng masterpiece, ulit-ulitin mo man, hindi mo na, kahit ikaw yung gumawa, hindi mo na mauulit. Actually, yung preparation na ito is 2 days. Matagal namin na-contact yung model up, tapos hindi namin nakuha schedule. Tapos naka-ready na ako ready na yung damit, yung concept, nandun na. Tapos, so walang practice, never ko na-try yung ilaw, like setup. So, this is the first Renaissance portrait kasi nung nagawa ko nun. Tapos sabi ko, tsambahan na to, sabi ko. So, yun. And then, nag-confirm yung model, kinabukasan, and then, nag-try kami nag-shoot. We shoot for 2 hours, and then, ayun, for 2 hours, and then the result is just 1.
Wow.
For me, just 1. Yan lang talaga yung pinaka-the best.
Wow.
And still, yun, marami, itong feature na to kasi mas marami pa rin po kung nabi-feature pa rin sa mga page, website.
Wow. Really, really good. We love this photo. And Richard, since most of the people who are watching now want to try this out, do you have any advice to them how they can pursue this type of photography?
Ayun, kung sa mga gusto mag-try ng ganitong concept, I'm sure marami din, lalo na ngayon, lockdown tayo, most of the photographers more indoor shoots. Just start lang kung ano mo na yung equipment nyo. Meron kasi iba na nag-aalala sila na baka hindi ko makuha yung ganun, kagaya nun, ganyan. Okay, lagi ko sinasabi sa kanila na kahit yung external flash nyo lang nagamit and then simpleng modifier, madali na naman gawin. Kaya-kaya nyo naman. Hindi mo na kailangan masyado ng sobrang high-tech na equipment. So kahit sa bahay, pwede mo na siyang gawin. Saka kung nahihirapan din kayo sa concept, so kagaya ng iba, pag nabablanko ako, siyempre, nagbabrowse din naman ako sa website. No? So lahat naman tayo nabablanko din sa idea.
Yeah. Great. And you also do workshops, right? So, and it's also a great idea considering that most of the people, yun nga, since you mentioned that karamihan ng mga tao stuck at home. And can you tell us more about the workshops that you do online? I think we have posters that you sent us. Go ahead.
As of now, I have one online workshop upcoming, pero I don't have the date yet. So I think this week or next week probably ilabas ko na yung date niya.
This one.
So ayan. Ito lang so far.
Yeah. Wow, great. And Richard, we know that you won second place at the 2018 Wedding and Portrait
WPPP 2018.
Yes. Maybe how does this make you feel? I believe we have a photo of it here.
Actually, it's my first time to join sa contest na yun kasi bukod sa inopen nila sa non-members, you can entry different things. May wedding, may portraits, may groom, may bride, etc. So sakto, into portraits ako. Nag-entry ako ng 5 portraits kasi 5 yung minimum. And then on the third elimination, pumasok yung lahat ng picture ko ng third.
Wow.
So sabi nga ng mga friend ko, uy, Pacquiao, sabi nga. So natutuwa ako, sabi ko, uy, pumasok. Tapos down to the second elimination, bumababa siya, natira 2. And then, hindi ko naman in-expect na papasok din yung natitirang 2 kasi sa dami na magagaling dito sa Pilipinas. Diba? Especially sa portrait. And then nagulat ako, yun, pumasok yung portrait ng bata.
Wow. And I believe this is the photo. Hold on. Let me show it to our viewers. Hold on. There, hold on. This is the photo, right? Hold on. There. So maybe you can talk about the photo. How you conceptualize it.
That's Big. Alam ko marami nakakilala sa kanya. That's Big. And portrait na yan, siya, she is actually 2 years old. 2 years old na nag-post siya ng ganyan. It was a stolen shot. Okay, nung first setup, same location nung nung shoot ng model na-explain ko kanina na mabilisan yung preparation, same location sila pero magkaiba ng araw. So siya, syempre, sinet up ko lang yung ilaw and then, ayun, actually hindi siya, malikot siya. Syempre, alam natin, 2 years old, malikot. Yeah. So, as far as I can remember, kaya siya nakatingin sa light is sa French fries. Ayun, pinaupo siya ng nanay niya and then may price siyang hawak. And then sakto nakaabang ako. And then, syempre, naka-multiple shot ako pag bata. And then, ayun, after nitong shoot, tumagal din siya ng 1 hour. And then nakabuo ako ng at least 3 or 4 shots dito. Ito yung pinaka-perfect shot. Wow. Actually, pinatattoo pa nga ng tatay niya. Sa unang-tuwan tatay niya.
Wow. That's really good. Thanks Richard for sharing the work and how you do things. Really appreciate it. Thanks Richard. Please stay with us at the end. Maybe you can promote your social media and other stuff where the people to go to.
Thank you.
Thanks Richard.
Thank you.
And our last but not the least, our final guest for tonight is a landscape photographer who's based in Quezon Province in the Philippines. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Nanes. Hi, Nanes.
Hello.
How
good evening.
You?
Good evening pa ba? Yes, good evening.
How are you doing now that there's a lockdown going on? Can you since you do landscape, can you still shoot considering you're a landscape photographer? What do you do now?
So, because of the lockdown, so syempre hindi makaalis since landscape nga yung forte ko, and then I have to go some place to take photos, etc. So, yung ginagawa ko lang this lockdown to create some creative juices is I tried to revisit my old photos. So, my photos from 2017, 2018 na I think that time is mundane or parang walang interesting na story or subject. And then, as parang nakikita ko ngayon na with siguro yung process ko ngayon or yung knowledge ko ngayon sa photography, so may nakikita ko na sa kanya. So I made composites of that photos from 2017, 2018, and also I try to continue learning photography. So watch YouTube videos, basa-basa sa internet, yun lang. So gano'n lang yung ginagawa ko nitong pandemic aside from working out.
Aside from I saw you're into workouts. And yeah.
Ngayon lang yun.
Ngayon lang. And yes, in terms of photography, how did your journey in photography begin? I believe we have some of your photos, behind the scenes photos. While you're talking, we'll show those. Sige, go ahead.
Sure. So nag-start yung pagkahilig ko sa photography last 2017 lang. So I started landscape din talaga agad. So yung work ko kasi is involved in agriculture. So nasa agriculture industry ako, and then most of the time, 70% of the time I drive. So in a month nakaka-drive ako ng 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So ganoon yung trabaho ko dati. So I was stationed in North Luzon for siguro more than 3 years. So at first parang na-inspire lang ako pag may nakikita ako sa daan na magandang sunrise or sunset. So I take my mobile phone pa yun, S3 pa yun, S3. So I snap a pic lang, ganyan. So hanggang nag-progress yung hilig ko sa pag-take ng photos ng mga magandang subject. So naging hobby, and then parang ngayon naging bisyo na. So parang droga. And I got hooked in photography, in landscape photography. Pero as a child talaga medyo inclined din ako into visual arts kasi nung bata ako I like to draw, lalo na anime, sketch gamit yung charcoal, and then also oil pencil drawings, and I like to check out some pictures of nature in some National Geographic magazines, astronomical pictures, encyclopedias, etc. So doon na nabuo yung yung pagkahilig ko, journey ko in photography.
Great. And also, just recently, you got featured in an international paper in the Times UK, as well as a full feature in the Manila Bulletin. How did you feel when you got featured?
Well, siguro nag-start yun. May backstory lang siguro. Yeah. So it started when one of my posts dun sa FB page ko got viral. So I posted 4 sunrise photos of Cordillera in Benguet and Mountain Province region. So I think it reached more than 1,200,000 audience in my page. So nakita ko yun. So hindi ko din alam kung paano nangyari. So I didn't expect it to happen na it will magiging viral. So and then someone from UK contacted me asking for permission to feature me in Times newspaper in UK. So at first hindi ako naniwala kasi parang nasa isip ko noon that time bakit sila magiging interested in a sunrise photos here in the Philippines. So parang ganun yung nasa isip ko na at that time. Yeah. Pero 2 weeks later nung pinadala na sa akin yung snapshot ng newspaper. So sobrang tuwa talaga ako, as in ecstatic yung term. At talagang kasi first time na feature ako in international audience pa sa sa international audience. So sobrang tonto ako talaga noon. Yeah. And then for the Manila Bulletin naman, yung full feature, as in nakalagay yung journey ko and some of my beliefs, my story about photography. So siya, medyo yung title ng Manila Bulletin article about dun sa akin is Stories of Healing. So bakit Stories of Healing? Kasi one way of parang giving back dun sa ginagawa ko in photography is helping others, no? So parang Stories of Healing kasi may mga story dun sa article about me fundraising for the benefit of Benguet, for the benefit of our less fortunates, my friend who is battling cancer, etc. So I'm very, very, very grateful to have that opportunity to be featured in our national newspaper.
Wow. And it also helps you help more people, right?
Yes.
And speaking of your works, let's try to dive into some of the photos that you took. So maybe you can discuss with us how you shot this. Ito, Nanes. Go ahead.
So, yung shot na yan sa first time ko pumunta sa Mount Pulag. So, that's March 2019. So, first time kong pumunta sa Mount Pulag. And pinangako ko sa sarili ko, every year pupunta ako sa Mount Pulag after nung pumunta ako dyan. So, kasi sobrang sobrang out of this world talaga. Parang may term na nakita ko dati, transcendental. So parang nasa spirit realm. Parang ganun yung feeling ko at that time. Parang kakaiba yung nararamdaman ko when pag nasa Mount Pulag ako. Sobrang serene nung nature, nung nature, tapos makita mo yung nasa itaas ka ng clouds, makita mo yung mountain range ng Cordillera. So unbelievable talaga. Talagang you have to see it with your own eyes.
It's sheer beauty talaga. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, this one.
One of my favorite photos yan, yung isang yan. And actually many people are parang drawn into this one. Actually, ito din yung isa sa mga marami kong orders for the prints, this one. Particularly this one, it's not I like to took photos of something mundane, yung parang lone trees or mountain range. Ayoko mag-picture nung something na parang kilala, for example Mount Mayon or parang Banawi Rice Terraces, kasi parang for me alam nating lahat. So parang ang kagandahan ng mga ganitong type of photos na kinukuhanan ko, mostly parang minimalist din yung parang feel, is parang I can tell a story about this tree. For example, in my mind, it's a personification of something na parang drought or parang in pain yung tao, and also the color of the surrounding is very parang yung season niya parang fall.
Yeah.
So I really like this photo talaga.
Nice.
So ang kwento niyan, yung backstory pala niyan, siguro 50% ng mga photos ko is nakita ko lang habang nagda-drive. So I have said earlier, madalas ako nagda-drive sa work ko dati. So kada may nakikita ko na interesting subject na sa peripheral view ko, humihinto lang ako and then I took photos of it.
Wow. Somehow it represents may pagka-Ansel Adams yung dating. Really good, Nanes. Thank you for
Yes,
sharing
thank you
story
so
for
much.
that. Okay, let's move on to the next. This one.
Yan, that one naman sa Sagada Mountain Province. So dati before ako nagkaroon ng parang chance na kasi bago ako nakabili ng camera, hindi ko pa alam kung paano gawin yung mga long exposure shots, ganyan. So lagi ko lang nakikita sa Instagram and then sa internet yung this kind of shot, yung silky smooth na cloud. So in my mind that time, one of my bucket list yan. So kaya every time na nasa northern Philippines ako, nasa Sagada or nasa Mountain Province, nasa Benguet, I tried to wake up early talaga in the morning, hike 40 minutes, 1 to 1 hour, maybe more than, para makapunta in high places to get a look of sea of clouds talaga. So one of my bucket list talaga is to have a shot of this. And kaya the title of that one is Mystic, because it feels very mystical, very something magical is happening.
It does. Ganda.
Yes.
And then your next one is one of your most popular ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yan yung isa sa mga favorite ko. Even before na parang medyo nagkaroon ng siguro hindi naman sa term na sumikat, pero I actually parang ang dream ko as a kid is astronaut or something about astronomy. Siguro lahat naman tayo dumaan sa phase na gano'n na parang we dreamed of being in the outer space, or parang dreamed of being to see a celestial object. So for me, this photo kind of parang represents my dream as a child. So parang kaya this the title of this photo is New World. So I see myself being on another world, for example, yung naninirahan tayo in another world. So parang ganun yung nakita ko na itsura ng universe na yon or ng world na yon. So yun.
Really good, and we like the composition, how you built the composite. Really magical. And then your last photo, this one.
Mm-hmm. So unlike other photos siguro, ito siya, mas soft sa puso or very calming. Pag nakikita ko yan, parang it motivates me kasi parang in my head, parang it's a new morning, parang it's a new day, parang new hope, parang ganun yung naiisip ko every time I see this. So parang this photo motivates me, especially parang if there are, for example, problems, parang kapag nakita ko to, parang very refreshing and very relaxing. So yan, sana yun din yung nakikita nyo sa akin.
Nice. And then, hold on. Let me just put you back on screen. Wait. What happened? There. And then, Nanes, just to wrap things up, at the same time, you support an advocacy for farmers. And you also do exhibits for a cause. Maybe you can tell us more. Yeah, and while you're talking about it, we'll show the photos. Go ahead.
Okay, so yung family namin talaga is involved in agriculture for generations na talaga. So yung ibang cousins ko nasa research in agriculture. Some of my uncles and aunties are involved in production of produce. So and sinabi ko kanina, I've been working with the farmers directly for the past 5 years or more. So that's why I have a very soft spot para sa mga farmers natin. So as much as possible, I want to help them in different ways and different way I can. So one way of helping them is through fundraising using my passion in photography. So I have partnered with Bayanihan para sa magsasaka. This is an organization which helps the farmers for giving them food packs or actually, ang ganda na nung progress nitong Bayanihan para sa magsasaka. So nag-start lang kami from giving them food packs during these trying times in this pandemic. So since hindi sila masyado nakakalabas and then yung produce nila medyo bumagsak yung demand kasi hindi tayo masyado nakakalabas. So we try to help them by giving them food packs. And then unti-unti nag-progress hanggang sa nabigyan namin na sila ng insurance. Then nabigyan namin sila ng iba't ibang tulong. Hanggang ngayon, yung pinaka-latest is scholarship na para doon sa mga anak ng mga farmers. So very talaga, sobrang nakakatuwa na maisip na nakakatulong yung photography ko in this program, in this cause. So yung paano namin ginagawa to, yung paano ko ginagawa to is yung prints ko. So I'm selling fine art prints. So cotton on pigment. This is on sale pala. So sa lahat ng mga audience ngayon, so this is on sale for a limited time for this cause. And we try to give them yung mga tulong namin. So prints yung binebenta ko para sa mga farmers.
Wow. Really good way to help, right? Especially when you want to share your passion. Thanks for sharing with us, Nanes. And again, for those who'd like to see more of your work, where can they go?
So, yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Actually, I'm very this is my first live interview or parang with video na interview, no? So, I'm very grateful for this opportunity and this is a new experience for me. So, thank you guys for parang sa mga audience natin. So if you want to see more of my works or if you are interested to donate or parang interested kayo to have more information about our cause, so search nyo lang yung pangalan ko. My name is very unique. It's one of a kind.
Yeah.
Like kung chinecheck yung pangalan ko if may katulad na ako. So Jay-Rness Ceria in all of my platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and also my website. So if you search Jay-Rness Ceria in Google, I think lalabas naman na kasi nag-iisa rin talaga akong Jay-Rness Ceria. So yun yung maganda doon sa pangalan. So sa pangalan ko, since nag-iisa nga ako, pag sinearch nyo yun, ako lang talaga yung lalabas.
Great. Thanks, Nanes. Thank you. And then
Thank you.
And speaking of promotions, let's get back all of our guests for tonight. So again, we have Michael McKenny and Dorothy McKenny, who's in Albuquerque in New Mexico. Again, Michael and Dorothy, maybe you'd like to promote something. Hold on, let me just put you on screen.
I'm not understanding.
Do you have, maybe you'd like to promote your works, the T-shirts and the things that you sell? Go ahead.
I told you about my hearing; it's pretty bad. Absolutely, we have so many different sites though that it would be hard to name all of them.
Yeah.
I will post each different link to the different sites on your website if that's all right.
Yeah,
on
sure.
your Facebook page.
Sure. And after this, we'll cut the video and then put a description where they can go to the site, to your site. Thank you. And Michael, maybe you'd like to say something for the viewers, as a parting word for the viewers.
No, that'd be fine. Just put the links up on the screen.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on now to Richard. Hold on.
Richard, anything you'd like to promote? Go ahead, Richard. I think you're on mute. Sorry. There. Go ahead.
For the upcoming workshop lang, I will post it on my page for the date once na nakapag-decide na sa date.
Great.
So you can follow me on my Instagram, Richard Gatmaitan, and then my Facebook page is Richard Gatmaitan Portraits, and my YouTube channel is Richard Gatmaitan. Puro Richard Gatmaitan.
Thank you. Okay, hold on. Let's get Nanes back. Hold on. There. And Nanes, go ahead.
Yes, hello. Siguro ano ba parting words?
Go ahead. Nanes, can you repeat that? I think you're cutting off. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay na?
Yep.
So, I think na-promote ko naman yung kanina, nakapagsabi na ako nung mga social media accounts ko and my fundraising activity. So, I think siguro yung gusto kong iwanan lang sa audience natin is for those who are aspiring or pursuing a career, for example, in abstract photography or in portrait photography or in landscape photography is siguro ano lang, continuous learning and be curious lagi because photography is very parang buhay siya, is evolving continuously, nakikipagsabay siya sa technology natin. So be curious lang and don't be in your own bubble. So we have to marunong dapat tayong lumabas sa bubble natin and then connect with your idols. Don't be shy to ask them few questions, and also find your purpose na lang din. To, for example, if you have a purpose in doing this in our artwork, siguro yun yung isa nga sa mga importanteng bagay para makita natin or mas mapaganda natin yung ginagawa natin.
Thank you, Nanes, and again, thank you to all our wonderful guests for tonight. We have again Jay-Rness Ceria from Quezon Province in the Philippines. We have Michael and Dorothy McKenny from Albuquerque in New Mexico, and again Richard Gatmaitan from Quezon City in the Philippines. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. This has been. Don't forget to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, and this will also be on Spotify. Just search for Film Factor Podcast. Again, this has been Film Factor or Born in Film on air. My name is Franz, and thanks for joining us.
This is all I need. Yeah, this is all I need.
Always been quite interesting to me.
I'm happy to greet this gathering of motion picture engineers.